in the first years I taught and coached there. And there's this game that you can play where you drop a dollar bill, put it here, and drop it, and I can catch it before it passes in my hand.
Mm-hmm.
So they knew, when Homer knew that. And one day during lunch break, he came in because I was in the room, and he said, I got something, Coach, you can't do. I said, what is it? He said, you put your hand out like this, I'm going to put my hand under here, and you tell me when you're ready, and I'm going to try and come up over and take that penny out of your hand.
Mm-hmm.
First time I tried it, I wiped him out.
Mm-hmm.
He said, do it again. I mean, probably 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
So he drove me out into the hallway of the school and said, hey, you guys, come here and see this. Watch what Glennon can do. And he put penny out, and I was able to take it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was amazed when I switched it. I could take it out of their hand before they could even touch my finger.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the penny game.
Mm-hmm.
And that became my way of meeting and working with people that didn't even know me.
Mm-hmm.
And it was something it's something about touching skin to skin that changed. I don't know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I have used that as an icebreaker in college. I demonstrated it on my doctorate when I went back there. And the people were absolutely amazed.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, they couldn't. I told you about the doctor that walked me up the halls and down the halls and everything when I had urinary infection. And I finally said to him, what the hell are we trying to do here? And he said, we're trying to determine whether or not you're well enough to go home. I said, do you have a penny? Yeah, I think so. Well, put it in your hand. Put it in your hand. I'm going to put my hand down here like this. And you tell me when you're ready, and I'm going to try and come up over the top and take that penny out of your hand before you can close it. So he did it. How the hell did you do that? Try it again. Took it again. I said, do you really want to be humiliated? Yeah. Take it from me. Put my hand out like that. He doesn't even touch my hand. He says, you can go home anytime you want to. And that has worked with basketball players at Highline, Quincy Wilder, All-American. He couldn't beat me.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called the rest of the team over, and they do it, and it worked for him.
Mm-hmm.
And best one of all. I was at Mount Rainier, and I came into the main office at the end of the day's school, and there was a cute and beautiful African-American little girl, one that came to have juniors and seniors work with them like in kindergarten. And I came in, I came into the office, and I saw her. And she's standing there by the desk, and her lower lip was doing this. And I said, what's wrong to the lady? She said, her mother got mixed up on what time she's supposed to come and pick her daughter up. And so would you watch her while I go and call her mother? Yeah. Okay. I say, I'm going to play a game with you. I use the dime. I'm going to put my hand out here like this, and you're going to put the penny game. She said, can I try that? Yeah. She didn't even touch my hand. From that day to the end of school, which was 2 months away, she would be in the around the around the flagpole, and she wouldn't say anything, but she'd go, because I let her beat me, and I used a dime, so it was more meaningful. Dime didn't make any difference. It was the fact that it works on every level. And I think that's the reason I'm awesome. Because I do things that other people would never even think of. I never stop thinking about teaching. We're taking the bus up to Waskowitz, just right on the bus. And this person, I don't remember who it is, years ago, was playing polar bear with cards. And I watched that, and my mind was going, and I thought, my God, I'm teaching the new approach in history, Fenton, discover. And I thought, that polar bear game is exactly what you do in research. You put your hand out, you try it, okay. There's a hypothesis. You think you know how to do it. You don't do it. You do it again. You do it again. You think about it. That's exactly what you do in research. When I was at Murphyville, I showed as a demonstration the polar bear to the university people. That damn game went all over campus, and they couldn't. They said, "How in the world did you ever?" I never stopped thinking of teaching, and I recognized something that I might be able to use, and maybe that's the reason I'm different, because most of my teaching techniques were based on pragmatism. Try something, doesn't work, try something else. That's where the 3 years come in. Rosalia, lost, win. And so at Highline, I talked to people that I liked. I didn't try and shove it off on anyone, but they were depressed because lecturing wasn't working with running start high school kids. And I would take them aside and say, don't be too hard on yourself. You're still learning from the student. Give yourself 3 years. 3 years has always been my boundary, that I don't get upset and quit the first time, because I know that for the most part, I don't know what I'm doing. Second, get better. Third one, I can do it. And I always think, is there some way I can apply this to what I love? It's a game. I had an entire classroom playing polar bear, and I stumped the Middle Tennessee University because that spread all over the campus, and it was so simple, anyone could do it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I liked. I was playing a game.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I tried to do is whatever I was demonstrating would become what I taught. So I was playing a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
And as I played, I hate this part, Josie. I hate Now I realize I've got a lot of Trump in me. I'm more of an entertainer than I am a teacher. And with me, it worked. And I just added, I'll just get up on the desk and march. And I'll carry the stick and pull the windows down. That's my gun. And I march around the floor, and the kids are, and the principal goes by and says, "What in the hell were you doing on that desk?" I was Paul Revere. And as many students said, "I don't understand the thing you're saying, but God, you're fun to watch." And that was my awesome part. History teachers don't teach history as if it was alive, a noun. And if I can draw on something they might know to something I want them to know, so much the better. We're both having fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know it. I really didn't realize until I come here that, hell, I was entertaining as much as anything else, and I loved it. So, and I have story after story after story. When I went to Mount Rainier, the football team was terrible. And I had to reshape everything the line was doing. And they were terrible. How could you make them be a little bit more aggressive? Insult them. I'll go home and dye all the practice jerseys pink. And if you don't do what I think you should do, you wear this. God, they hated me. I said, take your anger out on the opponent, not me. So when we go to a game, and they weren't hitting like I wanted them to, "Hey girls, who wants a big jersey now?" Who would do that now? You get fired immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys took their anger out on you, but it was intended for me. But it worked, so they were happy. And I can go on. That's my stories. I can tell you stories on all of those. And it comes down to my number one lesson. Have fun. Don't make it so goddamn boring that they put them to sleep. And if you see someone nodding off, "What do you think about this?" He didn't know squat about it. "Well, tell me what you think." "You mean to tell me you aren't thinking about anything?" And I'd play games. I'd go into the class and I'd have maybe 5 key points I wanted. And I would see, how can I ask a question that will infect all of the people in class? "What do you think of Trump?" You say it. Now, approach Trump. "No, he's the best president we ever had." You gotta be kidding, you nuts. Then I just let him go at it. And who was having the most fun of all. All I needed was a whip and a chair that would keep them down, except for one rule. Remember? Remember? Gets heated. I mean, really heated in the class. Time out. Do you believe this person has absolute value? They have to think a little bit. Yeah. I said, do you know what it means? Somebody else helps it. There it is. The class takes off. And they have to obey that this person, even though they're disagreeing, absolute value means you, no matter what, consider them of value. And it changes their relationship. And they may argue going out the door, but they'll be arguing amongst themselves as friends. And it was all slapstick. You know, you saw it, and like I said, you might have been one of the ones, you were too serious, but one of the ones that said, God, I think he's nuts. And that's it. That's all I did. And I'd have so much fun. I'd tell Lorraine at night, guess what happened in class today? The other teacher said, when the Christian Coalition come after me. It was Edmondson, and he was a history teacher at Tyee. And I had the son and daughter in my class, so he knew about my technique. I got the challenge by them. I get a call first thing I get home. Glennon, what the hell have you done now? That's it. And I was able to get away with it for 50 years. That's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But that's awesome. But it's me. I didn't have to change in. I wore a tie, shirt. Why? No one else is wearing a shirt and tie now. I wear it for you. It's respect for you because the Yankees are the Yankees because of the way they dress. That's what I'm doing for you. And it worked. And again, God led me through these things. Sometimes I didn't know where I got the idea myself. I just found myself playing with the class. And I knew it was a success when I couldn't get them out of the room at the end of the period. But that's God, I loved it. I got to talk, I got to act, and now I see I got even some love from my students that I didn't know at the time. So that's the story of Glennon.
It's a great story.
But you see how I operate. I had a former student. I had to go to a conference, and a former student I had, I asked him if he would cover for when I was gone. And he did. He knew me, none my time. When I came back, he said, I don't believe it. He said, all this time, I thought you came to class just on a whim. I thought you shot from the hip. He said, you have complete notes of everything that's there, the question you're asked, and who you're going to ask it of. And he said, My God, he said, I never thought you ever would go first class. And now now, now when I go to a reunion of Rosalia, we're going over, I'm writing notes. What are you doing, Glenn McKay? What are you doing? Are you writing a speech? No, I'm just making some notes. I'm looking for those 5 questions that would pertain to a wide span of the students in the classroom or at the reunion. And then when I get out, I have my 5 questions. I know I'm going to hit those on that. And everyone thinks I'm ad-libbing.
Hey, the best performers make it look easy.
Yeah, and that's sometimes I boo-boo, but God let me know I boo-boo. That's where you go to Dr. Love. Dr. Love says, make sure you have at least 1 friendly eyeball in every class. Now, what is friendly eyeballs? That's the student who's in your class, and you're at the board, and you screw up so bad, you don't even want to turn around and face the class. But when you turn around, you look at Ann Graham, Farmer Brown, and she's saying, it's okay, Tony, we understand, and you will get through it. So go ahead. Whether I was unzipped, ripped out the bottom of my hand, or just screwed up royally. And, oh, I'm so lucky. But that's awesome, I guess, because I am honest with you, Joshua, and you know I am. Sometimes I screwed up so bad you hated to turn around, but I looked for a friendly eyeball. And I'm going to order you a set of Dr. Love's books. And the first time you read it, look at it, hear him speak, you think, this guy is nuts. But he's sure interesting. And I read his book every year before school started.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd focus on love.
Mm-hmm.
I was bothered all the time I was teaching. I never completed the textbook deal. And it bothered me because I got so busy telling stories, and it was nearly the end at college that I realized, hell, it doesn't make any difference what I'm telling them. They're learning how I'm teaching more than what I'm teaching. And that broke the bounds loose for me to have fun even more than I did before. Because once you build up your reputation, you can hide behind that reputation. And so you really pull the plugs on whatever you're going to do. And that's the reason. Now, it is still happening. I was so sick this morning, I went in and sat on the toilet because I knew I was either trying to have a bowel movement or I was going to vomit. I was that sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat on a stool, and I thought about who was coming, and by God, it cleared up and here I am. I mean, I don't know what it is, but there's something there. There's a connection between me, my mother, my brother Charlie, and God.